Thank you for joining Hospitality and Ancillary Services' first UTM Sustainability Week 2022 event, Plant-Based Power with Forward Food. Hospitality and Ancillary Services is thrilled to bring our partners forward this year to share their expertise with our community. We are very pleased to bring back Alex Witchert from Forward Food, a part of Humane Society International Canada, to speak about plant-based eating. The discussion today will review motivators such as health and environmental sustainability, practical first steps, ways to get involved in their programs, and a delicious cooking demonstration from Forward Food chef Amy Symington. This event is scheduled from 2 to 2:30, so without further ado, I will pass it over to the Forward Food team.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone, and I want to thank you all for attending today's presentation. I hope that your Sustainability Week will be off to a good start with this conversation. As Sarah mentioned, my name is Alex Witchert, and I am the specialist for Humane Society International Canada's Forward Food program. So as mentioned, we are going to talk about plant-based foods, about forward food in general, and the kinds of simple, measurable, delicious, easy actions you can take as individuals for significant benefits. And we'll then conclude with that cooking demonstration by our program chef. So let's get started. Now, there are many examples we can give in order to illustrate the growing success of plant-based foods, such as new product launches at major restaurant chains and increased numbers of Canadians identifying as vegetarian or vegan. Over the past couple of years, we have continued to see a growing interest among consumers in eating healthier and choosing more plant-based options, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. We've also seen promising market predictions for the kinds of incredible success the industry is poised to see within the next decade, and significant growth in the plant-based food space in 2020 and 2021. But the question is, what exactly does plant-based mean? Well, when we refer to plant-based items, we are talking about ingredients and dishes that are sourced entirely from plants. They contain no animal products or byproducts such as meat, fish, eggs, dairy, or honey. These dishes could also be considered vegan, though we prefer the term plant-based because more people identify with it, including flexitarians who still eat animal products occasionally. And there's also a second term, plant-forward. When we refer to plant-forward dietary habits or dishes, we mean items which are made primarily from plants, but may contain some animal-based items as well. Although Forward Food advocates for both plant-based and plant-forward eating, all resources and dishes we provide are 100% plant-based in the interest of being accessible to the widest possible audience, and also to have the largest possible impact on our food system. Speaking of impact, we're going to discuss the major benefits of plant-based foods. We'll discuss sustainability and animal welfare, and we'll also look at some more personal or immediate benefits, health and affordability. Now, first is the fact that plant-based diets are more environmentally sustainable. It is widely recognized, and it has been for many years, that what we eat has a profound impact on the planet, and that animal agriculture in particular has many negative environmental consequences. Here's one example how. Agriculture is the #1 cause of deforestation worldwide. It's responsible for about 80% of global deforestation, the majority of which is driven specifically by animal agriculture. This is because huge areas of forest are burned or cleared to make space for livestock or crops that are fed to animals. Alarmingly, and as the BBC reports, we are clear-cutting the equivalent of a soccer field of Amazon rainforest every 60 seconds, mainly for cattle grazing. Animal agriculture itself is also a major producer of greenhouse gas emissions. It's well known that farm animal production is responsible for more greenhouse gases than the global transportation sector. This is partly because the animals themselves generate gases, and partly because it takes enormous amounts of land, water, fertilizer, oil, and other resources to produce meat. And then there's animal welfare. Despite what most people think, the idea of an idyllic small-scale farm run by a few family members has been a thing of the past for some time now. Modern animal agriculture has become increasingly industrialized and intensified in Canada. While the number of chicken farms has dropped since 1976 from more than 99,000 to fewer than 30,000, the average number of chickens per farm has increased sevenfold, from fewer than 900 to more than 6,000 today. Over 800 million land animals are slaughtered for food each year, the vast majority of which are chickens. And sadly, it's almost impossible to maintain high standards of animal welfare when you're raising thousands of animals at a time and trying to keep costs as low as possible. One of the best examples is what we call intensive confinement systems, cages and crates that animals live in for most of their lives, and which deny them the opportunity to live anything like they would in nature. As you can see, these hens and mother pigs are confined so tightly they can hardly move. Realizing that many inhumane practices like this are common within animal agriculture, many people are shifting away from animal products and toward more compassionate plant-based foods instead. These points can be pretty big topics, and we're going to look at them in more detail during Friday's session. For now, let's pivot a bit and discuss a benefit that you may find a little more immediate in its advantages, and that's personal health. There is abundant research showing that diets rich in plant-based food, especially whole foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices, and which include minimal amounts of animal products, are the most optimal for health. There is a clear link between eating more plants and reduced risk for various cancers, type 2 diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and heart disease. These health conditions are among the leading causes of death globally, especially in industrialized countries like Canada, where heart disease is the second biggest cause of death, and 1 in 4 Canadians will have cancer at some point in their lives. While it's not a guarantee, a diet rich in whole plant-based foods can help maintain health in later years and avoid chronic conditions that become more common with age. In fact, it's been proven that plant-based diets are linked to a reduced risk of all-around death and to longer lifespans. So we could save many lives, improve the quality of our lives, and reduce the burden on our healthcare system simply by eating more plants. Given that fully or predominantly plant-based diets are better for our health all around, here are major health organizations in North America and internationally that have issued statements about eating more plants. And I'll share some examples from Canada in specific. Stroke Canada says that, quote, a plant-based diet can lower your blood pressure, improve cholesterol, help you achieve a healthier weight, and lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes Canada says that, quote, low glycemic index foods such as legumes, whole grains, and fruits and vegetables can help control blood sugar, protect you from heart disease and stroke, and can make you feel full longer to help with losing weight. And the Canadian Cancer Society says that, quote, about 4 in 10 cancer cases can be prevented through healthy living and policies. And it goes on to suggest you, quote, fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits, a quarter with whole grain foods, and a quarter with protein foods. Of course, New Canada Food Guide is consistent with these recommendations. It suggests that about 7/8 of our plates should be filled with foods from plant sources. And if we go back to the sustainability benefits, the good news is that what is healthy for us is also healthy for the planet. According to the Eat Lancet Commission, a planetary health plate looks very much like that of our National Food Guide. It should be approximately half vegetables and fruits, and the other half should consist of primarily whole grains, plant protein sources, unsaturated plant oils, and optionally, very modest amounts of animal protein. And finally, we have the additional benefit, eating more plant-based foods, of cost. With rising food prices, and now more than ever is a great time to consume more whole plant-based foods like beans, like lentils, whole grains, and seeds. And by replacing some of your animal protein with plant-based ingredients, you can drastically reduce your food costs. Consumers have already begun realizing this at the household level, and meat sales dropped significantly in 2021 as a result. We expect this trend will continue in large part thanks to the increasing availability of affordable and delicious plant-based proteins available on the market. Here are some examples of the cost saving of replacing various animal proteins, and this is from a guide we created available on our website, free to download, about how to replace animal proteins with plant-based ones in various applications. These costs are food service prices, but the potential for huge saving also exists for consumers cooking at home. Of course, you can choose to spend more on plant-based products if you're buying things like ready-made plant-based burgers or sausages, and bacon, and so on, but these are not necessary parts of a plant-based or plant-forward diet. So the good news is that this all means you can improve the wellness of the environment, you can help animals, you can protect your own body, and you can keep food costs in check by eating more plants on a regular basis. This brings us to who we are and why the Forward Food Program exists. Forward Food is an innovative culinary resource program run by Humane Society International Canada, aimed at getting more plant-based options on menus across the country. We help the food industry and food service professionals meet the growing demand for plant-based options among consumers. And best of all, our services and supports are offered free of charge. We work with chefs, dietitians, and other professionals at higher education institutions, healthcare facilities, restaurants, retail outlets, and other businesses to run trainings and workshops, to provide culinary demonstrations, to assist with recipe and menu development, and to offer guidance for marketing. We often attend or host educational events such as conferences, leadership summits, tastings, pop-ups, presentations, and yes, sustainability weeks. We really offer whatever our partners or audiences need from us to help them put more plant-based options on their menus so that guests and customers and consumers such as yourselves can easily access delicious, convenient, plant-based dishes. And the only thing we ask for in exchange for these services is that our partners make a meaningful commitment to helping us build a better, healthier, more sustainable food system. We ask our partners to sign the Forward Food Pledge and commit to transitioning 20% of their overall menus to plant-based. But that's on a big scale. The question is, what does Forward Food offer for individuals such as yourselves? Well, our Forward Food for Individuals and Daily Living webpage offers all kinds of information, educational events, and useful resources to learn more about plant-based foods, as well as what to look for, how to make substitutions, and how to prepare these plant-based options. We also offer a document on planning a successful plant-based transition, available on the summary page for this presentation, but also on our website. And it includes tips on exactly what it sounds like, how to transition toward this kind of healthful, impactful eating. And some of these tips, or at least some of these ideas, will be discussed in greater detail when we get to the cooking demo in just a few moments. Now, if you're feeling particularly inspired, we also have an ambassador toolkit on our website that provides resources on how you can be an advocate for more plant-based options in your local restaurants and communities. This guide is, of course, free to download like all other resources, and it includes elevator pitches, business cards, and also an email template that you can use when speaking to your favorite eateries or restaurants. You can use information if you are in contact with someone at a restaurant, food business, just a customer placing an order, and you can say that you would like to see more plant-based options served. The files mention that you are a customer, but you would eat there more often if there were greater plant-based selections, and then it refers the recipient to our website and to our services in order to help make that a reality. Now, we discussed today some of the exciting benefits of plant-based food, but I do also want to cover a few particular stats that may really emphasize just how incredible your small changes can be. Here's the first one. You know, eating a plant-based diet can spare over 100 animals per person each year. Now, the estimates vary depending on the source, depending on the data, depending on the calculations. This is a conservative estimate. But what I want to emphasize is that it's not just one small or one animal or one small bit of an improvement that you make when you choose to eat a plant-based diet. You are saving so many lives in the process and creating this incredible change all from your dinner plate. Here's another one. Did you know you could save as much carbon emissions as a new car emits on a 10-kilometer ride simply by making one portion of spaghetti bolognese with plant-based mince? Now, this gets more into the forward food realm and the idea of sustainability. As we spoke about, plant-based foods are much more sustainable on average, on the whole, and this is a concrete example of the kind of change you can make just by choosing one option or one type of food over another. And here's one more. Did you know, and this is a quote from a book called Veganish, one person eating vegan just one day per week saves approximately 40 pounds of grain, which could feed hungry populations around the world, 1,100 gallons of water, 30 square feet of forest, and one animal. To put that into context, 1,100 gallons is equivalent to almost 4 months worth of showers saved in just one day by one person. So again, you can see how comparing this stat or this quote to the first stat, estimates may vary slightly, but what is important is the significance and the range of just how much you can do and change by what you're eating. I hope that these give you an idea of the power you have as one person, and especially as that ripples outward and you speak to more people, share perhaps why you are trying a plant-forward or a plant-based dish on that particular day, and hopefully making great change for yourself, for your family, friends, and your community. Now, in the second half of the segment, Chef Amy Symington is going to provide a cooking demonstration for both her matcha mint chocolate chip shake and her raw pad thai salad. A nutrition professor, researcher, and plant-based chef at George Brown College, Amy is the author of the Long Table Cookbook, Plant-Based Recipes for Optimal Health, and she is also our program chef here at Forward Food. Let's watch this recording from summer of 2021.
So much.
Great. Thank you very much to Chef Amy for that little demo. And I will just also add that those recipes are available not only on our website, but also on the portal page or the summary page for this presentation. Now, that does conclude the presentation. I've given my contact info as well as Chef Amy's, as well as the contact info of Reina Topan, the program manager, social media. Feel free to contact us, follow us anytime with your questions. We thank you for your interest and your attendance here today, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for sharing all of this today. And now I'm hungry after all those recipes. Plant-based topics are so diverse, and I know we've only just started to skim the surface, so I'm very much looking forward to part 2 of Plant-Based Power on Friday. And thank you to everyone who joined today. We hope to see you at our other events this week on Wednesday and Thursday, as well as our part 2 of Plant-Based Power with Forward Food, Small Changes That Make a Big Difference on Friday at 11 a.m. If you'd like to learn more about our other events this week or other events across campus, visit the UTM Sustainability Week 2022 website. And again, thank you very much for joining, and we hope you have a great day.